and welcome to the Hired Gun Podcast with your host, the Hired Gun. First, like, subscribe, share. How y'all doing, y'all? So let's get to it. So let's get to it, y'all. So I watched SmackDown and I watched TNA. TNA was good. It was good. I liked it. I enjoyed TNA. SmackDown was good too to me. You got people who have podcasts, right? And they shit on the E, and they shit on AEW, and mind you, that's okay because people got their own opinion. So I'm not trying to tell people what to like and stuff. But then you find out they got these, they work for another company, not AEW or WWE. They work for it's this thing called this show called HOG. Um, and you know, so when you hear people like when you hear some people's takes on certain things, right? And then they uh, gaslight their product and just shit on everybody else's product, right? You can't take them serious sometimes now, right? Because here's the thing: they can't go on YouTube or Instagram and have a podcast and just talk about their product, so they wouldn't make any money then. You know, they wouldn't make any money if that was the case. They wouldn't um, have a podcast to come to and talk about Raw or SmackDown. If or a great fan base, if they didn't talk about WWE and they just talked about their product for who they work for. Now, of course, they have their fans, they have their supporters, and mind you, I like the people I'm talking about. I like them. I do. I just see it every week. They shit on the product and they complain about certain things. Now, this ain't all the time, but this year in particular, it's been that way. And I never thought about it like how both of these two people, Solo and JD, right? Because I don't want people to say I won't say their name, so I'm gonna say their name. Solo Monster and JD, right? Now, mind you, they got other stuff they do. I mean, they work for other companies. Both of them work for the same company, HOG. All right, um, and they come on. They had their own podcasts, and they come on. They came on. Like they come on here, and they shit on WWE. They shit on AEW. Not all the time. Sometimes they have positive stuff, But like, and again, I'm not telling them who to like or what to like, but it's just a constant thing. But anywho, SmackDown was okay. All right, I enjoyed it. Now there are some things I didn't like, you know, um, but there's some things I enjoyed. I enjoyed the Sammy versus Cody match. I enjoyed um, I enjoyed Mello versus Trick Williams. Now, let me say this about Mello. Everybody know that I'm a Mello fan, like I am, right? And I go to bat for him. But this is 2 weeks in a row that it's like Mello is just speed racing through his promos. Like he did it last week backstage, and he did it this week in the audience. Like he's just speed. It's like somebody told him to get your words out, and hurry to get your words out, so we get so they can get to a match. Right? It's like it happened like that last week too. I don't understand that. Like he needs to go back to what he was doing. Just talk. Now, if somebody telling him hurry up and talk, so we get to a match. That's one thing. But it just say it would sound like it just sounds like somebody told him to do that. Hey, speed it up. You know. Now they protected him last night. Now as soon as this match got announced, like uh, as soon as that match got announced, I knew then that um, Ricky Saint was coming out. Sorry, y'all. Well, I knew then Ricky Saint was coming out to interfere in this match because you know how the match ended with Melo and Ricky Saint last week. You know, so I knew then that Ricky Saint was coming out and interfere in this match and cost Melo the match. So they protected Melo, with the L. But I just knew that was gonna happen. And then afterwards, Melo got his lip back against Ricky Saint, and he punched him in the face backstage. They told him to stay at his business. You know, but I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the women's tag team match with and Rhea and Charlotte versus Fatal Influence. That was decent. That was decent too. The open challenge with Tiffany Stratton and everything. Listen, so Tiffany wasn't gonna lose, and then Tiffany wasn't gonna lose her first open challenge either. Alright, so for the people who were like, oh, you had a chance to make it Blake Monroe. In what? Her lose? Because Tiffany's not losing right now. Now, maybe if Tiffany was like the United States champion for like 6 months or 4 months, I can see that happening. Right? But Tiffany just got the belt. Like Tiffany just got the belt, so he wasn't gonna just put the belt on Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe right away. And some people say, "Oh, this is how you make stars." No, no, like that's somewhat of like okay. So I can't. Okay. I don't want to contradict myself when I say this. Right? It's like it's cheap pop to just have an open challenge and then have the open challenge winner win. Now the reason I stopped myself from saying that at first because of the fact that Dragunov did that with Sammy in open challenge. Right? But Sammy was a champ. I'm pretty sure Sammy was champ longer than what he was and then what Tiffany Stratton was. Not by a lot, but enough. But here's the thing, Dragunov was already on the main roster. Right? He was already on the main roster. He was already stabilized somewhat from Raw. You just moved him to SmackDown. Blake Monroe has just been called up. Okay, from NXT. And some people, I'm tired of hearing the whole excuse of, oh, Blake Monroe should have never been put in NXT in the first place. You know what? You're right. But Blake Monroe has went on constant interviews and said that she wanted to start in NXT. Like that came out her mouth. Like she said she wanted to start in NXT. Okay, so it wasn't like they put her down just to put her down. No, she asked to be put down there. All right, and she's been saying that day one since day one. So when people talk and they just talk, and they just talk, and they don't know what the fuck they talking about. They just need to shut the fuck up. Um, but I enjoy SmackDown. Like I did. Uh, would I pick somebody uh, else besides Last Legend? Maybe, maybe. And there's no knock on Last Legend, but Last Legend and um, Nia Jax, they have a match today. So you knew Last Legend wasn't winning. Now, did they protect her? Yeah, they did. Because Chelsea Green came out and they interfered in the match and cost Last Legend the match. And then, they got their payback in the back with Last Legend. Now, I will say this. I will say this about this situation with Tiffany and Chelsea Green. It's the same thing they're doing with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, or they were doing the same thing. That Charlotte and Alexa Bliss are tight, right? But they started off with the whole, I'm not working with her. She, she's not my friend, you know, shit like that. They started off that way, right? The same thing with Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green. Now, will they make a good tag team? Sure. But we know where this is going. We know where this is headed. Like either Tiffany's gonna turn on Chelsea or Chelsea's gonna turn on Tiffany. That's gonna happen. If it gets over like Charlotte and Alexa Bliss got over, then maybe it lasts longer. But we'll see. We'll see on that. But SmackDown wasn't bad as people were saying saying it has no soul and shit like that. You know. Now, Sammy can't say he didn't turn heel last night because he did. He turned heel last night. That's definitely what happened last night. He turned heel last night. Ain't no way around that. Like Sammy turned heel last night. Like he watched Gunther choke out Cody. Right? That happened. So now there's no misunderstanding. There's no, I don't see that. I don't see myself as a heel. You're a heel now, Sammy. Again, they had a good match, and I knew Gunther was coming out. Like sometimes I wish I didn't know certain things. Now, mind you, I still get stuff wrong, right? But like interference, like who's gonna interfere? So like 95% of the time, I can tell you who's coming out, right? And it's just me because of the fact that I watch wrestling a lot, and I've been watching wrestling a lot, and I just know the angles or the formula that happens. Now, again, I can be wrong sometimes. Like I was wrong about who was winning the last pay-per-view in certain matches. So, but then again, because the formula has changed. Now, mind you, the Seth versus Rob Breaker, like Rob Breaker won, right? Now, here's the reason why I don't like why Rob Breaker won. And now, let me say why. Let me get this out of the way. Hold on, yeah. Alright, sorry, yo. So, let me get this out of the way first, though, and say this. I get why he won. Alright? You want to push Braun Breaker. You want the young guy to win. Alright, so you throw him a bone. And that's cool. Alright? But now, like Ryan said a couple weeks ago, or last week, or Monday. Alright? He said Monday. Alright? Like when we was talking and everything. What's the reason for Braun Breaker to want to fight Seth now? He already won. Alright? Hey, there's no reason for Seth. I mean, there's no reason for Braun Breaker to want to fight Seth now. Like, yes, Seth can keep interfering in matches and fighting them and stuff and everything. That's cool. But, like, there's no reason for Braun Breaker to want to fight Seth now. Now, yes, Braun Breaker has said he wants to take everything from Seth, right, and put him down. So okay, maybe that happens, right? But and again, we knew this was gonna happen again. This match was gonna happen again. But saying that, like, it needs to be a thing on why. Like on Seth part, there's a reason why he wants to destroy the division. Like he wants to destroy what he created. You know, like he wants his get back. But if since Braun won, there's no reason for Braun to want to fight Seth. Now, mind you, they did add that match to the Attack on Italy card because now we got. All right, so what we got so far on that card? We got Roman versus Jacob. We got Cody versus Gunther. We got Rhea versus We got Rhea versus Jade. Right? Is that it? That it? Now, is that it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So, so you can add two more matches to that card, maybe three. All right, like you can add 3 to 2 matches to that card now, and it's stacked. It's already stacked. Truth be told, it's already stacked. Truth be told, but still, you can add a little bit more to that card. If you really want to. Sorry, y'all. Had to see something. Um, you can definitely add. You can definitely add some more stuff to that card if you really wanted to. You know, I mean they are. I like. I think we're gonna get Braun Breaker and Braun Breaker versus Seth for that card, and then maybe one more match after that. So right now we had three. I think we had 3 or 4 matches so far. I know what I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting the Over versus Rock match. That's gonna get on that too. So we got room for one more match, maybe 2. All right, because we already been told that we get an hour free again. All right, so you gotta add more to that card, and then hopefully there's no UFC leading up to that shit. You know, because that's one of the main reasons why they didn't add anything to the Backlash card because they didn't want to get in the way of UFC and this shit. But like I said, they're gonna add more stuff this Monday because Monday and Friday are the last 2 shows before that pay per view. Well, you know, so we'll see about that. So tonight we get um Saturday's Night Main Event, and I said this before. It's the weakest one we've had. It's the weakest one we had, but you know, still, I'm still for to watch. I'm still for to talk about it. Um, Monday. I got not TNA. I got AEW Sunday. So I have a lot to talk about between that and this. Um, but I think so. The one match I'm iffy about is the Penta versus Ethan Page match. No, we can say that, or we can say that even if Ethan loses, this feud's not over with yet. Like we could say that, right? Right? But even if Ethan wins, the match is probably still not over with yet. I think so. Here's my thing. I think you could do more with Ethan winning than him losing because there's more opponents for Ethan to fight than Penta. And we're always gonna get this. Um, we're always gonna get this kind of talked about when the champ's been champion for a long, long time. Like Penta's been champion for like 4 or 5 months now. Like it's time. But my only standing off about that. I said this before. You really don't get um, champions losing on the Saturday Night Main Event. Like you get title shots, like title shots on there and everything. But the only time something's happened on there is when Chelsea won won the United States title. But that wasn't a title change. It was a match for the belt. Like to be the first, you know. So like it's not the same. Like, it's not. Alright, but I don't see the Vision losing the tag team titles to Street Profits because that's still going to go on, right? I don't see. Uh, so the Becky versus Soul Rooker, that's not a title match. I see Soul winning. I see the Vision winning. I see Soul winning. I see Rhea Ripley and Charlotte and Alyssa Bliss winning against Jada. Uh, is that it? Oh, I see Bella and I see Brie Bella and Paige winning. All right, so like there's title matches on this card. I just don't see people losing. The only one like I'm stuck on it is the Ethan Page versus Penta match. Now, Ethan Page can still lose and still get the belt um, Monday or whenever they want to do that match. Again, I can still see that happening. It's just I know if Ethan loses it now, they won't do that match again until probably Night of Champions or SummerSlam. One of those is gonna happen then. It just ain't gonna happen right away. But if you do a title change, right, it can lead up to that. Either Night of Champions or SummerSlam. Right, but I'm good with either. I'm good with Penta keeping the belt, and I'm good with Ethan Page winning the belt. Like I'm good either or on that match. Cause I'm a fan of both. I'm a fan of Penta and I'm a fan of Ethan Page. I think he does more for Ethan Page than it does for Penta to win because you establishing and and this is the difference between giving somebody a belt right away and giving somebody a belt when you want to establish somebody. Right? Like Blake Monroe is gonna get established eventually, right? Like she just got on the card. Now, could they have done something better with Blake Monroe than just a backstage pop up? Yes, of course they could have. Like she could have had a match, just not for the United States title. Ethan's been on Raw a couple of weeks now, maybe a month now, right? Now you can establish him more by giving him an IC title. And and I'm not saying Blake Monroe's not, right? But one thing about Ethan Page, he's very good holding the title. Like he's good at chasing for the title, and he's very good at being champion. Some people can't do both, right? And again, I'm not saying Blake Monroe can't do both. Yes, she can. Obviously, she can. All right. I just don't think it was the right spot to take the belt off Tiffany Stratton. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You know. Um, I'm looking forward to tonight. I really am. Um, I don't know if AEW having something. I don't know if AEW is having something tonight. You know, because it be stupid. This is why they had a 3-hour show on Wednesday. All right, because it is here. Because they don't want to get in the way of the E. They just don't. They just don't. I didn't talk about TNA that much at all. You know, and that's crazy. So let me say this about what happened with TNA. Now, one of the matches I liked it. I liked the um, Steve Macklin versus Mike Santana match. Very good match. It was a makeup match for the match they were supposed to have last month, and it didn't happen because Mike Santana knocked Steve Macklin like cold the fuck out in the first 10 seconds of the match. so they couldn't do the match. So it was just a match finish up. It was a good match. It was a really good match. You know, despite how I feel about Steve Macklin, and uh, you know what? I don't even feel any type of way about him. Yeah, he's a good wrestler. He's a real good wrestler. You know, he is. He is. I think he's on the AEW eventually. I do because his wife is there now. The only thing I can say that might change about that is because of how they treat his wife there. She's the women's pure champion, I think, right? Or TV champion. She's one of those champions for ROH over there in AEW. All right, and she never defends the belt. All right, so maybe she feels like maybe he feels like that doesn't want to happen. At least that in TNA, like they put him in either the mid card tier or the main event tier. All right, and he's been TNA champion now. So has his wife. So, but maybe that's keeping him from not going over there. But they had a real good match. You know, let me say this before I go. I couldn't be a commentator, like a commentator. Like I can't be Michael Cole or anybody like Cody Graves, Pat McAfee. I couldn't be these guys because of the fact that you gotta fake it sometimes. All right, whatever comes out that curtain, like out that curtain, or whatever match they have, you gotta sell it. All right, and sometimes I can't sell shit. Like I can't. I gotta tell you how I feel. I do. And it's their job to sell it and make magic happen. All right, and sometimes that shit that I said I can't do it. I can't. I know that was supposed to be my. I mean, that would be my job to get paid, and that's what I'm getting paid for. Boy, so some of this stuff is like they pissing on somebody and calling the water, dog, calling the rain. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And like like Thursday, Mustafa Ali had a match, open challenge match. Now, we really can't call these open challenges because we know ahead of time who he's fighting. Right? Whether it's the internet or it being taped, we know who he's fighting ahead of time. He fought somebody from WWE, but it was somebody from uh, what's the name of that shit? Evolution, Evolve. I'm sorry, Evolve. Right now, has he had a match on NXT? Yeah, he had a match on NXT. He lost that too. So and then the other person he fought open challenge, they just signed that boy Xavier Brooks, something like that, like a couple of weeks ago. Alright, so right now Ali's fighting jobbers for his title. Now, maybe he just leaves into something and he fights somebody better, which he should. But right now he's fighting jobbers, dog, and he's another one who's just acting like oh, I'm the top. And him he's playing the character. Like he's in character doing this. Like he doesn't believe this shit he's saying. That's why I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Well, that's me. That's me. Um, but you know, TNA was pretty good. I like the TNA. Thursday. I just didn't talk about it yesterday because I was busy, and I wanted to see SmackDown so I could talk about more stuff. Just like tonight. I'm not gonna go on tonight or tomorrow. I talk about just the Sunday Night Main Event when I could just talk about Sunday Night Main Event and um, AEW's pay per view on Monday. But I'm gonna end the show with that. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. Make sure you guys watch wrestling. Make sure you guys watch E-Feds. Make sure you guys watch What if you want to watch some wrestling, yo? New breed. Um, but this is the Hired Gun podcast with the Hired Gun. Love you guys. God bless. I'm out.